What's up guys, Joe here, and in today's SCUF video, I'm going to be breaking down everything you need to know with the Season 1 Reloaded update, whether we're talking Warzone or multiplayer. Let's get into it. As you guys know, there's obviously Control, Search and Destroy, and Hardpoint for ranked play, so try to find as many friends as you can, get a 4-stack, and just run up the lobbies, because I know solo queuing, which I've been doing, is an absolute pain. There's still going to be the normal SR, which is going to be the gains you get per game, but there's also a hidden MMR, which is what Call of Duty thinks your rank should kind of be. Meaning in the bronze to kind of like silver and gold ranks, if Call of Duty thinks you're a diamond player or top 250 or iridescent, you're going to be getting a lot of SR gains per win. But then later, once you get to platinum, diamond, or above, you're going to be seeing less and less MMR gain. That means that obviously you have to be getting those wins, trying to streak as many wins as you can once you reach that kind of cap level that Call of Duty thinks you're supposed to be at. But definitely give ranked play a try. It's a ton of fun. It's super competitive, and it kind of scratches that competitive itch for a lot of people like myself. So also with the new Season 1 Reloaded update, we have a brand new map called Rio, which I think a lot of people are excited to play. Honestly, any new map I'm stoked for. They also have Gunfight that's back, which is a ton of fun. And they have 2 new weapons, which I'm about to show you right now. They brought back another one, which I'm just gonna call the TAC Evo, which is another LMG with the default 100 round mag, which is pretty crazy. There's also a new SMG called the HRM9, and this thing is absolutely disgusting. All right, so now let's touch on Warzone and what's going on over here. We obviously have the Season 1 Reloaded patch notes, which I'm not gonna lie are like a mile long, but I'm gonna touch on kind of the most important stuff and things that we've been asking for the most. Nukes are back, which is super cool. If you and your friends, or you honestly solo, which is the hardest, are trying to drop a nuke, here's what you need to do. You have to get 5 wins in a row, and then you get the 6th game nuke contract. Now the nuke contract, it's kind of like the old one. You have to get the elements and place them in a bomb detonator, and then protect the detonator to not get defused, to then explode the whole map. It's been a ton of fun. It's really cool content, but if you're like, yo Joe, there's no way I can get 5 wins in a row, that's okay, because they changed it where also in a whole season, which is like 2 months long sometimes, you actually can get 30 wins for the whole season, and you get a chance at the nuke run too. So if you can't do the 5 dubs in a row, which is obviously tough for a lot of people that don't play the game all day, you can also do it by getting 30 wins in a season, and you'll get a chance, which is cool. So touching on some of the weapon changes, they actually did nerf the MTZ, which I haven't seen a lot of people use it, and they nerfed the Swarm even more. The Swarm does still seem very good, but I can't wait to use the HRM9. Like I said, I haven't got to use it still because of the magazine bug, but once they fix that, I've heard everybody say that gun's literally meta, and I kind of have a theory that it doesn't have a drop-off damage rate, so I feel like it's got consistent damage values farther than it should from some of the clips I've seen. But honestly, I can't wait to use the gun because I haven't got to use it yet. But they did touch on a couple guns here. Obviously, the Holger, SMG wise, the AMR9 does seem like a very good option now. Obviously the Swarm kind of dominated the Warzone sub meta for a while, but this is obviously a good choice too, along with the new HRM9. So also, as you guys know, they do have variants of the Gulag. I got to try this out at COD Next. It was kind of cool. They have a new variant of the Gulag called the night vision variant, and that means that you're going to be actually having on night vision goggles while you're fighting in the Gulag. If you ADS, it's like the canted gun sideways with a laser on it. Obviously there's different variants. There's like the cash one, where if you're fighting there's a ton of money around. There's the locked and loaded, where there's a full loadout for you as you're fighting, and now there's a new variant, which is the night vision one. My strat for this, if you guys either can't find them or it gets kind of awkward while you're fighting, if you have a smoke grenade, you can take actually the zip up and actually get out of the Gulag for free, I guess, and not fight. So if you can't find them or the fight gets kind of awkward, once that zip line comes down, smoke the zip and you're out of there. So that's my little tip right there. If you guys are trying to get out of the Gulag without fighting a lot or for free pretty much, take the zip line out. Obviously they did a ton of stuff with the bugs and bug fixes. The list goes on and on and on. I'm not going to go through every single bug because some of them affected some people, some of them didn't. But overall though, I think this is a great update, some great changes, some new guns, and I just hope that they keep updating the game in general. So I do want to touch on quickly also some of my favorite metas right now with the new season. They added a new muzzle in the game, which I think is very very, very cool, and that is called the Jack BFB. As you can see here, if you tab over to the advanced stats for this muzzle, you get crazy amounts of recoil control. 60%, 20%, and 40% on the vertical recoil. Now, what most of us used before was the flash hider, the L4R, and then obviously that does 13%, 13%, 13%. Obviously, the Jack BFB is crazy recoil control rise, but there is a downside to this that I think is gonna determine whether you use it or not, depending on your playstyle. So when you shoot this muzzle, it actually shows up as an advanced UAV when you're shooting your gun for your enemies. So if you think you can kind of have a faster kind of run and gun playstyle and still use this, definitely throw it on there. If you're like, yo, I'm still trying to keep a suppressor to be hidden from the map, do that too. I personally love this new muzzle because it helps out a lot of guns that have a lot of kind of recoil control, and you can build a SMG to be very, very fast now and shoot pretty straight. So a sub I've been really liking now is the WSP9. It did get a buff. I do have no stock on if you can't see it by my camera, but this has been my current WSP9 build. It feels very, very solid. When we're still talking AR metas, the TAC, which has been one of my favorite guns in the game for a while now, is still very, very good. They did nerf it a little bit, but obviously the iron sights I think are super clean. Doesn't have a ton of recoil, and the 75 round drum for Warzone especially is just perfect. Here's a stock that I'm using, the TAC Verde, and I have the SSS combat grip. If you don't like this, you can obviously take off the grip and sight on like an eagle's eye sight or a red dot or something like that if you really need a sight. But me personally, I do love the iron sights for this gun, and it's still a beam and it still kills extremely, extremely fast. So that's kind of my go-to guns right there. There also is the MTZ, which I've been using a lot. The MTZ packs a crazy, crazy punch, and I know kind of the 30 round mag does seem like a problem, but when it kills that fast, it doesn't really matter. I've knocked 3 people with 1 mag on this gun sometimes, and I have been running, like I said, the Jack BFB because, again, with the recoil control, this helps out a ton. Before, I didn't really like the MTZ because it was hard to shoot from long range. With this now, it makes it a beam. Again, if you don't like the advanced ping when you shoot this gun, I wouldn't recommend the MTZ because obviously it's got a lot of recoil if you don't have on the BFB. And one more SMG that I've been really liking a lot too is the Striker 9, which got a buff. There's obviously the Striker, which I also like, and the Striker 9. The Striker 9 got a buff. I've been actually seeing a lot of people use this in customs against some of the best people in the world. So obviously this gun's very, very good. It has great, great, great fire rate, which helps this gun out a lot. Kind of gives me like a swarm type of vibe before it was nerfed. And you can throw on a 50 round drum. I have on no stock and obviously the Jack BFB because this does help out the movement a lot, and it still is going to be an absolute laser beam. For those that don't like, again, the BFB as a muzzle, you can still run another stock. I would advise maybe like the lightweight stock is still good, or if you're like, Joe, I cannot shoot this gun straight to save my life, the Recon series stock is good, and I would take off this muzzle and throw on a sight. So obviously that's my go-to guns at the moment. Let me know what you guys think down below.